The Miami Dolphins are not going to get anywhere close to scoring 70 points against the Buffalo Bills. And after rewatching that game, the Denver Broncos played such a soft coverage. And we learned after years of playing Tyreek Hill with the Kansas City Chiefs, as well as Mike McDaniels and Tua with the Miami Dolphins, how we are going to play them much differently than the Broncos. But welcome to my channel here, Bills News Consolidated. We need to discuss it. What, 70 points against the Denver Broncos, and the Buffalo Bills hit 5 turnovers versus the Washington Commanders. What a perfect game going into this. Buffalo Bills defense, 5 turnovers. Miami putting up 70 points. What a beautiful storyline it is. But there's some things that we need to discuss in this game. And one thing I noticed that the Denver Broncos did, or really allowed, was soft coverage, not playing press at the line of scrimmage, not jamming these speedy wide receivers of the Miami Dolphins at the line of scrimmage to knock them off their route, to delay things a little bit. You know, Tua is a system quarterback. Tua is a rhythm thrower. Tua wants to get the ball in his hands and get the ball out timely, in a timely fashion. When the play extends, or if he has to extend the play, scramble from the pocket, draw up some backyard football plays, that is not Tua. You know, that is definitely not Tua. We see it from Josh Allen, that is not Tua. But you put small quarterback, 6-foot Tua in harm's way as well, you know, doing those things. So the fact of the matter is, if we could disrupt this timing of the wide receivers, if we could disrupt the routes of the Miami Dolphins wide receivers enough for Tua to hold on to the ball a split second longer and bet on our pass rush, Leonard Floyd, who's leading the NFL in sacks, 3.5 sacks after 3 games, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, Ed Oliver leading the NFL in total pressure rate. Man, I'm betting on this Buffalo Bills defensive line to get to Tua a lot more so than the Denver Broncos. And also, I expect Sean McDermott, first year calling defensive plays for the Buffalo Bills. That's how he got a name for himself in the NFL. The disguises on defense and the veteran leadership on this Buffalo Bills defense allows the Bills to disguise things even more so. Listening to Terrell Bernard after the game, and mind you, Terrell Bernard, 2 interceptions after 3 games. Bills finally have 2 matchup linebackers, 2 much faster overall linebackers than what we had last year with Tremaine Edmonds. So when you look at the Miami Dolphins' speed, clearly we have more speed at the linebacker position as well. But Terrell Bernard, you know, after the game was really hyped up, you know, really balled out, did a great job. But he even said, like, he's surrounded by talent. He's surrounded by Jordan Poyer. He's surrounded by Micah Hyde and Trey White. And he trusts that their eyes, their communication, how they're able to disguise things. You know, Poyer might come up in the box, you know, it might show a blitz, then he drops back into coverage. Or, you know, there's just so many things that they could do to disguise pre-snap defensively. And I know a lot of Bills Mafia is concerned because the Miami Dolphins do a lot pre-snap offensively, putting guys in motion. And I already mentioned jamming at the line of scrimmage. And, you know, Tyreek Hill, putting him in motion and snapping the ball while he's moving, it's tough to get your hands on him to press him at the line of scrimmage. Now, it's still possible to jam him, but, you know, it's a lot harder when he is moving. But the Bills could definitely still do some big-time things with that. And, you know, the eye candy that the Miami Dolphins utilize is definitely tricky, but knowing the veteran leadership is there for the Bills. Sean McDermott, after the game, said, Mike McDaniels, reinventing offenses, drawing up new offensive plays that we've never seen before. And we see it last week, and I'm glad that he used it against the Bills, was this play action, an I formation, play action, shovel pass. And what it does is it makes the linebackers over pursue to the run. So you're in an I formation and you're calling a stretch run to the outside. As the play is developing, those linebackers start over pursuing, trying to stop the run that's going to that side. But suddenly what happens is the running back stops, right? And they also have Tyreek Hill coming back behind them. It's just such a creative, confusing, eye candy play. So we just really need to be sound in our containment. Like, we always have to make sure the backside is being contained as well. Like, we can't just completely over pursuit to the play because there might be a trick up their sleeve for the Miami Dolphins. And I really think you look at it, right? Sean McDermott did such an excellent job against the Commanders. 5 total turnovers. We are not only changing things defensively, right? We're changing things offensively too for the Bills. Now, last year, we didn't have Damian Harris. We didn't have Latavius Murray. James Cook was a rookie running back. And ultimately, what have we seen this year from Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills offense? Long, sustained drives. Josh Allen leading the NFL with the highest completion percentage in the NFL. And you merge that with Ken Dorsey's short passing game, evolving this scheme to 12 personnel and Josh Allen under center. We are utilizing play action with Josh Allen under center. We're still utilizing the RPO. We're just mixing and matching all throughout the game, keeping defensive guessing all throughout the game. But the real factor here are those long, sustained drives, winning the time of possession for the Buffalo Bills. And what that's ultimately doing is it's keeping our defense fresh. Micah Hyde, after the game last week, in his press conference interview, told the reporters he felt like he didn't even play. He's like, I had to check my jersey for grass stains. He's like, I feel like I didn't even play. Our front four, our defensive line was just holding things up, making it super easy. And then the game against the Raiders, after the game, Taron Johnson was joking with Josh Allen. He's like, I didn't even see the field the whole third quarter. You guys had the ball the whole third quarter. He's like, I want to make plays. But what is this doing? You know, the Bills rotate on this defensive line to keep players fresh all throughout the season. We bring in Taylor Rapp to rotate with Taron Johnson this year to keep him fresh for when the games are important later in the season. What this Buffalo Bills offense is doing for this Bills defense, it is keeping them fresh for later in the season. It's keeping them fresh throughout games, especially against a game like the Miami Dolphins, who has a lot of speed. This defense is going to do a lot of running around, a lot of scrambling around. You know, we typically call a lot of zone on defense in Sean McDermott. Will we start maybe calling a little bit of man? And if we do that, could open up some running lanes on the outside. You know how we have our corners come in and tackle, right? So it's about being very, very disciplined, understanding what Mike McDaniels and the Miami Dolphins are doing. But the whole fact of the matter is, and the real recipe to win this game, is to dictate to the Miami Dolphins. Long, sustained drives offensively, keep Tua and Tyreek Hill, possibly Jalen Waddle if he's back on the sidelines, and then have our defense just make the most of their opportunities, get those takeaways, put pressure on Tua, get those hands up, press those wide receivers to the line of scrimmage, knock them off their route just a little bit, have Tua release it a split second longer. Leonard Floyd, Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, I'm betting on you. I appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.